gives me great pleasure to introduce Andreas. He and I have worked with each other for over 30 years, and he's been in my shows at the College of the Atlantic. He's been at my shows at Wells Reserve. He's been at shows at Maine Audubon. And I say, okay, artists, we're going to do a show at Coastal Maine Botanical Gardens. And he's there, he's off, and Andreas has probably more public art pieces than anyone that I work with. I mean, he is really known for his public arts work. Andreas works in all mediums. He works in granite, he works in basalt, he works in aluminum, he works in stainless steel. He has a wonderful sense of engineering, and he does have his degree in engineering from Stanford. So, Andreas von Huene.
Thank you for your kind introduction. June has done something very important in the art world here, in the sculpture world especially, I'd say, in that she's helped us get to know each other. So we have a happy circle of fellow sculptors here in Maine and beyond. We help each other out. Every day I get a call from a colleague, where did you get that tool, where'd you get that? And then I call them back, where'd you get that rock? So this is a very special circumstance we have in Maine, that it's intentionally collegial, still, and June has played a big part in that, so thank you, June. There is a quarry in Jay, Maine, several in that area, and it is known for this stone here, called Jay White. Grant's tomb in New York City was made from it. This is Jay White right here. Jay White over in here, and this is a transitional zone of material that's called riptide. This is going to be a snowy owl. That's 9.5 feet, or 9 feet, I think. The tail is going to be here, and if you come to, this was the end piece CD3, that was on the end here, like that. So now here you see the front of the owl. Here's the head. It's going to be like this, but banking hard.
Oh, okay.
So I'll have the feet and the lower part of the body affixed to a boulder, as if it's brushing past a boulder at speed. I grew up in my father's shop, which makes musical instruments, historical woodwinds. So we had machine shop, wood shop, all kinds of equipment, making all kinds of crazy things to replicate instruments from the past, but also the musical component. When I was little, my siblings and I would accompany our parents to their early music concerts. They couldn't afford babysitters at the time, so we were led by docents during these concerts in the evenings at the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. So there you get a lot of exposure in a friendly environment if you have this love aunt figure carrying you around. So it's always art and instruments and music going through the atmosphere. I think what happens in life is it's like an onion. You get these different layers and they cross-connect. If you look at the flitch of an oak plank, that's a layer that's connecting several growth rings. I think that could explain how I am. I have many different layers, from engineering, from field engineering to this and that to music. I still sing, all the way through making, whether it's granite, stainless steel, aluminum, wood, whatever material. So it becomes a crosshatch of capabilities, talents, and initiatives. I do like making things a lot. So sometimes you take a break from the sculpting and you work on the machinery for the sculpting, and then you say, there's that nice piece of rock over there. In hospital when I was 9 years old with a broken leg, and it's compound fracture, so I was there for a while. And this lovely young lady, volunteer, came around. She brought me some clay. I was used to working things on the lathe and the drill press. What's this gooey stuff? But I made my first 3 sculptures.
The work of Andreas von Huene reflects his respect for subject, playfulness with material, and delight in detail. The invitation of a tactile surface, the luminous capture of light and deep plunging of shadow, the reaching out from a center of mass to express a great volume are essential aspects of his work.
Sometimes I'm going through my favorite candy store, J.C. Stone, 2.5 acres of stone. And I was there picking up stone for a base, and I looked across their yard. Behind a dumpster, I saw the corner of a big piece of granite. I said, ooh, I think I know what that is. It was a 9.5 foot long triangle of Jonesboro red granite. Very hard stuff. But a triangle which is not of much use to them doing architectural work, but great use to me. So that triggered and gave me permission to do a pretty abstracted form. At 100 yards, I saw the corner of that rock, and I thought I knew what it was going to be. It's almost a character building exercise, where you make the first move, and then you see how the material or the concept responds. So it's like two people singing against each other on stage. You sing it this way, oh, I can't sing it this way, then I gotta sing it this way. So this conversation builds as the character of the piece develops. And I enjoy listening to it as it goes, paying attention to it. It's not me imposing my will. Only in the very beginning I'm responsible for the initiative. But then it becomes this conversation. So let's say I'm doing a large curving surface. As I swing that surface with my body, and I'm holding this grinder spinning at 10,500 RPM with this coarse wheel and stuff is slinging everywhere, but I'm also in a cocoon because I have earplugs on, I can feel, oh, there's a high spot there, or there's a low spot, stay off that. I can feel it through the grinder. You think you're the boss of the stone because you're mighty with your diamond saw. Maybe, maybe not. So, in other words, pay attention. And I think that extends to whatever it is you're making. It has a character, which develops as you're working on it. I was working on an aluminum piece, and I was cleaning up the scraps, and I don't remember exactly the day. Usually I think I would, but I just started working with these offcuts and reshaping them to some extent. They're flat shapes, and came up with this form that was a whole new thing for me. I did not intend it to be that way. I did not have a concept. I was just this play state, which I think is underrated. I think the word play is too often reserved for childhood, whereas I think we need to play more. I mean earnest play. Be willing to try things out. Okay, Mac, you're the sculptor. What are you going to do with that? Okay, Barney, you're the sculptor. What are you going to do with that? So I'm a sculptor. I've got some raw material. What am I going to do? What if that fits under there?
That's good. I like that.
Okay, now what are you going to do?
Well, I knew we need something to balance this.
Okay, now what? Let's do one right in the horizontal. Give us a horizontal. No, keep some rolling. Oh, what did you say?
On the shadows.
Oh, yes, the shadows are very important, aren't they? Maybe this goes over here. All of a sudden we have something, right? Now here's what the artist thinks. Okay, where's that going? What about this one? That's kind of going over there, but not really aligning with that. What about this one? The shadow lines are already interesting. You all done good.
Striving to create art that comes alive giving form to ideas, observations, and understandings regardless of scale. He is continuously delighted to find new materials and skills to incorporate into his art, and it is the wide range of projects and processes that serve as Andreas von Huene's grand adventure.